Greetings from Los Angeles, California. Mike coming at you from AT Astro. Hit that like and subscribe button, and information will be posted down at the bottom in case you would care to schedule a consultation with yours truly. A lot of people come to astrology and metaphysics to try to find meaning behind their relationships. Many times it's very tumultuous relationships, and in many times it's in the search for points of confirmation for the most important, fulfilling relationships of our lives. And if you look at relationships from a statistical perspective, the whole concept of finding a happily ever after or your soulmate or your forever one and only, the odds are really stacked against you. Half of all marriages end in divorce. 90% of all relationships that begin before the age of 30 end in a breakup or a divorce. If you're looking for your happily ever after, you have to understand that you're only going to find your happily ever after with yourself. However, relationships are one of the most important events in a person's life. There's a set of aspects in astrology that brings this to light. There is a set of indicators in astrology that gives us the ability to understand when somebody's coming into our life for an important reason. And these aspects that I'm about to list out are clear indicators of an important connection. Now, whether or not the relationship ends in a way you would like it to end, or whether or not a relationship even ends at all, is honestly irrelevant. We all come together to learn a lesson. And once we learn that lesson, no matter how long it takes or how short of a period of time it takes, we go our separate ways generally. And that's how relationships, from my, objective opinion, should be viewed. Life is not going to turn out the way that we want it to. The way that we think that our life is going to be in 20 years, it's more than likely not going to be like that, the slightest. But that's what makes life fun. You just kind of got to buckle up and enjoy the ride. Our relationships happen for a reason. So let's go ahead and get this countdown started. 1. A personal planet from one person falling on the other person's sun-moon midpoint. The conjunction works the best. The opposition works very well as well, but the conjunction's always better. And we're looking for a really, really, really tight orb. I'm talking about a degree. 2 if you're feeling frisky, but for the most part, 1. So the sun-moon midpoint in somebody's chart is the midpoint between somebody's sun and moon. You can just take your chart and you can do it by hand. There's a couple programs through like SolarFire, Astro.com that allow you to do it as well. But you can just basically check out the chart and you just kind of count and you figure out where that midpoint's at. That's the ultimate blending of the eternal masculine and the eternal feminine within somebody's chart, within somebody's personality. And in mythology, the sun and the moon in many ways represent the husband and the wife, and the meeting between the two is the sun-moon midpoint. So when somebody's personal planet, and preferably the sun or the moon of the other person falling on that point, is the best, but Venus works well, Mars works well. But having somebody's personal planet fall right on that point is a huge deal, and it's very heavily felt. It is almost like this person, in a way, fulfills me. I mean, you have to look at other factors for like sexual attraction and if there's going to be like arguing or whatever, but that alone is a huge deal. You're not going to find it very often. When you see somebody's chart and you see somebody's personal planet falling on your sun moon midpoint, you need to pay close attention because this person is very important in your life, and this person also hits your personality in a way that complements you in a way that almost no other aspect will. 2, we are talking about nodal contacts. Why are nodal contacts important? Well, you kind of got to follow your north node if you want to have any kind of semblance of fulfillment within your life. Your north node is where you need to be fucking going. And to have your north node or the other person's north node falling on, in fact, my 2 favorites are actually on the moon or the ascendant. The sun is okay, there's attraction there, but it doesn't work out as well. The moon or the ascendant is a big deal. Double whammies are even fucking better, but this person, like let's say it's your north node. Your north node is falling on the other person's moon. The person with the moon is going to be feeding you and nurturing your ability to move forward in a way that's healthy for your growth and your development. It's a really powerful placement. It also binds people together for a very long time. If your north node is on the person's ascendant, that person, first of all, there's more than likely a very strong karmic background with your south node being on their descendant. So there's more than likely a cyclical history in terms of karma of y'all being in relationships over and over and over and over again. But the person with the ascendant is literally the physical embodiment. And this has also got to be close orbs. There's really close orbs. These are very important. That person's the physical embodiment of what you need to become to move forward. They carry the energy of your North Node in their appearance and the way that they project themselves, and they can help you on your path, on your mission. That's what makes that particular contact more important than anything else, because they become, in a sense, a conduit of growth for you. And you can't ignore that. And you don't even need to ignore that. You're going to feel that and sense that in some capacity. Now, South Node contacts are cool and fine and dandy, but this is the problem I have with South Node contacts. If somebody has a personal planet sitting on top of your South Node that is really comfortable and nice, and there is a concept of karmic ruts, though. Like, the South Node, you've already fucking done that shit. You've done it, and you're on to the next phase of life. So why do you need to constantly sit in your South Node? When you sit in your South Node, you don't evolve. And so when somebody has a personal planet or a heavy amount of energy hitting your North Node, that person is pushing you to go towards what you need to go towards to be a better person. And it's usually not that comfortable, but it does keep people together for long periods of time. The suns are really cool. Like when somebody's sun sits on your North Node, that's really cool as well. I see that with a lot of friends, a lot of really close friends. Romantic partners, it's good as well, but it doesn't tend to pan out as long. The node on the ascendant or the node on the moon, those two by far are the biggest. Those are some of the best synastry aspects ever. I'm just going to leave it at that. 3. The Vertex. When you're checking out synastry between two people, you always want to take a peek at what the Vertex is doing, and if there is a personal planet conjunct either the anti-vertex or the vertex. So there's the regular vertex, and then the anti-vertex is at the exact opposite end of the axis. The vertex has been called an alternate descendant, but what it basically is a port of entry for fated encounters. That doesn't always mean it's going to be in a romantic context. A lot of times it can be just somebody that comes into your life and changes it in some way or another. But having a personal planet, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, or the ascendant or descendant, or even the midhaven or the IC, any important angle or important personal planet jumping on top of either the anti-vertex or the regular vertex, that's a big, big, big deal. That means you meant to meet this person. It isn't always for the best, though. A lot of times it can be painful, it can be fucked up, it can be someone coming up out of nowhere and changing your life for the better, or it may sometimes seem like for the worse, but it's not necessarily like that. It's usually for the worse now, but for the better later. 4, having a feminine planet, and I'm talking about the moon or Venus, conjunct the other person's Chiron. That one is a little bit less rare, but it's super important because Chiron is so much about where we're hurt, where there's a part of us that's just is damaged and can't seem to heal itself on its own. But we can help other people, though, with their problems, their trauma. And having somebody with a receptive, sensitive, nurturing placement like Venus or the moon specifically sitting on top of that point, it's addictive. It's super addictive. There's a healing quality that goes both ways. The moon can nurture the wounds of Chiron. Chiron can deal and help the moon person deal with any upsetting issues that can come with that particular placement, especially if there's a lot of hard aspects to the moon in that individual's natal chart, or with Venus. It's just there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of beauty behind it. Now, Chiron aspects can get just as painful if there's negative aspects at play as well. Like, it can get really bad and really hurtful. But for the most part, those contacts are super important because they can do things for you and your sense of well-being and even faith in the world that no other relationship can. And for the final 5th one, an aspect that people don't talk about a whole lot, but it's pretty important. You'll see it in some like real deep synastry videos or real deep synastry articles. When your ascendant falls in the other person's 7th house, or vice versa, and preferably conjunction. So like your ascendant conjunct their descendant, or their descendant conjunct your ascendant. So when that happens, it's rare. 2, it's especially the conjunction. It is just like you come off to that person like just somebody that they seek to marry. You're basically the projection of all that they want in a partner. It sounds weird. I mean, there's other aspects at play. Synastry is way more fucking complicated than that, but that's a big one. You see that one super frequently in marriages that last longer than 25 years. Very frequent, very common. Also, like I was stating about the midpoints before, midpoints are usually common, or are heavily overrepresented in relationships that last over 25 years. So, hope that was helpful. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, I do offer consultations. I'll be posting information down at the bottom. And until next time, guys, I hope this was helpful.